But how did you get into human performance and just sports performance in general?
I mean, I've been in fitness. I always say I've been in fitness since I was like 13. It was just an obsession. I got into lifting weights, playing sports growing up, and I was skinny, and I was like, I need to get bigger and stronger for this. So I just got into lifting weights, and then I was obsessed with all I ever did for outside of school. Actually, in school, I would carry around the Arnold bodybuilding encyclopedia that's like that big. I used to carry around in my backpack in middle school and high school and read it, during classes. So I really wanted to go to school for that, but I didn't think that there was a career in fitness outside of, I worked out at the YMCA, and I didn't really want to just be a personal trainer at the YMCA as a career. So I went to college for business and hated it.
I read that.
Yeah, I didn't.
Because it's true, there was nothing back then.
No, I didn't.
It was either
there was
personal
nothing I knew.
trainer or like, you're a coach for a professional team, but that's the most unreliable
or
job
physical
ever.
therapist was like another path, and that wasn't really something that was interesting to me. So, but I actually transferred schools to the University of Rhode Island, tried to walk onto the football team because some of my buddies were playing football, and got introduced to the strength and conditioning coach there, and ended up, training the whole spring with the football team. And I was like, this is awesome. This guy's career is training college football players. And so I switched my major over to kinesiology. I actually did kinesiology and psychology in school because I loved psychology, and like we were talking about before.
I started with psychology and I switched to kinesiology.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I was one of those old souls that everyone like told their problems to. Yeah. And I was like, I can't do this the rest of my life. And so right away I switched because I'm like, I need to help people get better, not, bring people back from being so down.
It's kind of a bummer that the way that you approach those things is like, oh, well, this isn't going to be a career. Like, I love psychology. Most of the reading I do today is behavioral psychology. But to your point, it's like, I don't really want to be a counselor, so I shouldn't study this, which is unfortunate because there's so much really good stuff to learn, and it's been a huge influence in my entire career in the fitness industry. But from that point on, I was in strength and conditioning. I wanted to be a collegiate or professional strength and conditioning coach for football originally, because that was my sport.
You played football too?
I played football my whole life, football and lacrosse, so that was my passion. But I got into sports performance and kind of transitioned out of the collegiate strength and conditioning realm. But that's how I got into it.
And then I feel like you're very well-rounded with injury prevention. And so did you ever have an injury, or did you ever go through anything, or did you deal with people in college, at the college level that were injured that you realized, hey, this is important to focus on?
Yeah, I think both of those. I've been fortunate to have a lot of injuries in my career, so that teaches you a lot. I think a lot of what I did from the time I was 13 until I was 22 and started having a real coach, or maybe a 20 in college, a lot of what I did caused me a lot of damage, spinal fractures, torn shoulders, all kinds of stuff. So I learned a lot of what not to do. And then I think from working with clients, I've been fortunate again to be in situations where we didn't have a lot of resources. And when you don't have resources, it's great to say you should go see a doctor and a PT and all these things, but if you don't have all those resources, it was like, I got to figure out what I can to help this person to be able to perform. So I got really deep into learning about physical therapy and injury rehabilitation, and on that end, my focus was, how can I mitigate the risk of these things?
Right.
I can't rehab it, but if I can understand it, then maybe I can adapt what I do a little bit to try to mitigate some of that in the future. So that was a big approach that I took, but a lot of that comes from curiosity too.